Why do we choose hurt? Not the hurt that finds you, but the hurt you chase. The kind you have to pay for, sign up for, train for months. The kind that chews through your feet, your resolve, and every excuse you've ever made. Why choose 217 kilometers solitude, running in unforgiving bush and dangerous terrain? Maybe it's because somewhere in that hurt, we meet who we really are. And some people, they're willing to go further than most to find that out.
My name is Dave. I live in Melbourne and I work in marketing.
Hi, my name's Jordan. A lot of people know me as Nukks.
Two ordinary blokes with something untamed driving them, a hunger to confront the edge.
So I signed up for Down Under 135 last year. I got halfway and it was easily the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. It had the most suffering, it had the most pain, it was just unforgiving, and so I want redemption. I regret, honestly, when I got there and I said I'm done, it was the biggest regret that I had of last year.
I just know that limits are going to be reached, and a limit for me, reaching limits for me is what I want to pursue. I want to see what I'm capable of. I want to see what's going to push me.
Underneath the bibs and checkpoints, there's a deeper pull. It's the same pull that's lived in us for thousands of years. Before GPS watches, training plans, and Instagram reels, a primal urge to test the edges, to not run from something, but to it. Long before it was a sport, ultra running was survival. We ran to hunt, to deliver messages, to honor gods. From the messengers of ancient Greece to the indigenous runners of the Americas and Australia, this was a movement with meaning. Ultra Runners Modern Spa came in 1921 with South Africa's Comrades Marathon, a brutal 90-kilometer tribute run that still burns bright today. The true break came in the 70s, when Gordie Ainsley ran 100 miles on the Western States Trail on foot. That's when ultra running became more than a race. It became a test of who you really are. But why do we still do it?
I have this thing which is like, you know, the more suffering, the more peace. And I can't find peace, and I haven't been able to find peace over the last year since I quit. There's no growth without pain. There's absolutely no growth without suffering. And I think if you're not putting yourself through stress, then you're not learning how far your body can go and push.
For me, I know I do it for myself because I want to be a better person. I want to make more of myself. I want to become the best version of myself. There's a lot of reason behind it.
That pull has never left us. Now, more people than ever chase it through deserts, across frozen tundra, up brutal switchbacks at midnight. No prize money, no podiums, just pride. People like Courtney DeWalt running for 200 miles with a grin and a headlamp. David Goggins turning pain into fuel. Thousands more, unknown and unseen, choosing the long way on purpose. Ultra running isn't growing because it's easy. It's growing because it speaks to something we all forget we needed. But surely you can't just take on an ultra tomorrow.
Yes, I think you have to know yourself. You have to know what your current level is. Like, you know, I would never say jump into a crazy 5-day race or, you know, pick up 100 kilos of weight if you've never been to the gym before. Like, yes, you're gonna get hurt in doing that. And that's like unsafe suffering, I guess, or unsafe pain. But building yourself up in a safe way to then be able to perform better than you ever thought you could, that's cool.
But here's where community shows its true power. Support crews, mates who know the fine line between pushing limits and crossing it. They're not just handing out water, they're watching, pacing, pulling you back from the edge when needed. Even in the face of risk, it's that safety net, that shared grit that turns pain into progress. But what does it mean to have support?
Like, there's a lot of effort that's been put into this from my crew, You know, my wife has to get up in the mornings at 5 a.m. and look after the kids whilst I go out at 5 a.m. and run and train. And she says she's my biggest advocate, but she said to me, like, if you call me again like you did last year and you tell me you've quit, don't come home. It's kind of like a therapy session, but I think more than anything, like growing up, I never had, you know, lots and lots of friends. I never had my circle. And it wasn't until, like, you know, 5-6 years ago, I found, you know, running, and then you meet some crazy people that go, oh, there's this thing called ultra running. Do you want to sign up to a 50K? And then they convince you to do 100, and then you do a miler, and then you start talking about DU, you know, being the ultimate. And I think the reason that keeps me going back is, outside of it bringing a sense of peace, like you're also growing.
This is way more than pushing yourself. It's about community, and the ultra community is one of the strongest out there. But what do the crew reckon really drives their guy through the dark?
I think people choose challenges like this to, I really think, to find a bit of about themselves. I think when you do a race like this, you can think you know how you're going to react once it gets to 100 kilometers or 150 kilometers or 200 kilometers and you've got 20K to go. Like, I think you feel like you know how you're going to react, but there's so much of an unknown. And I think a lot of us really want to know that answer about, all right, when our back is up against the wall, like, how will we react?
So a little update, both quads are thrashed. About 70K is on. They just said, nah, too much of it. Too much. So yeah, it's just a dogfight right now.
You can think you know, like, what the answer's going to be, but until you get faced with that demon in front of you, and then, like, overcoming that demon is like, it gives you like a whole nother body of armor, I guess.
I'm just not moving the way I want to, but yeah, let's see if we can make the cutoff.
People do this to challenge themselves, I think essentially. It's to see how far they can go, because I think most of us live a fairly mundane life. It's pretty repeatable, and to have this opportunity to put yourself out there to see how far you can go, how you can control your mind, as Gaddy referred to as well. It's a combination of physical and mental, and to be able to push beyond what you think is possible and then reflect on that and then go again a little bit harder next time, it's a pretty wonderful opportunity.
Having the time of your life? Do you want to quit? Are you a creature?
Yeah.
Good man.
And that opportunity is what it's all about. To push yourself, to reflect, to choose to hurt, and to discover yourself. This is what makes us grow as individuals. But does that finish line matter? And what will it mean if you don't make it?
I'm not concerned about finishing, because I know that at the end of it, if I don't finish it, I'm still going to learn something on it. For me, these races are a lot about learning something about myself. Like, if I was to finish it, and even if I was to win it, or even break the course record, or whatever that is, it's still going to be the same outcome for me, because all I'm looking for is to learn more about myself.
Like, I've got this saying, which is, if you don't buy a ticket, you never win the raffle, right? It's just being comfortable, being able to, you know, keep going, and every time your body says, I really, like, we should, because you're having a constant conversation in your mind, we should drop out. Why don't we just sit down for a little bit longer? Wouldn't it be nice to go and have like an hour's sleep? That's the stuff that you just got to fight in your head and go, I'm not doing it.
We choose to look at pain and suffering as the same in our lives, and doing hard things can help build a mental fortitude against that. This is the question that all of us experience at some point in our lives. So what is your answer?
Do you choose to suffer, or do you keep suffering? Or do you feel that pain and you take that suffering and you go, what can I make of this? How can I become better from this? And I think, so that, like, mental side of it, and then using that suffering in a way that can really boost your performance, I guess, and the way you think about the world and yourself.
We don't seek hurt because we're broken. We seek it because it shows us who we are. It helps us control and choose the type of suffering we endure. It gives us the tools to navigate the hard things in our life, and it shows us our reasons why.
I am addicted to it a little bit. maybe a bit too much, I guess, because I keep signing up to these races. But for me, it makes me feel empowered, you know. I sign up to these races and I can do them and finish them. And I feel empowered from it.
I'm gonna wake up and I'll be 50 and then 60, and I want to have stories to share back to my grandkids, and for my kids to be proud of our dad does hard things and I can do hard things as well. So that's kind of really why I do it. But yeah, if you don't buy a ticket, you're never gonna be able to know that you can do these things, right?
Everyone has their reason why. And sure, we all want to finish, but it's not about finishing the race. It's about finding out who we are. It's about growing as a person. It's about finding out what you're capable of. The first step is choosing something hard. It's willingly choosing to hurt, because the hurt we choose helps us navigate the hurt we can't.